le point de départ justement était l'idée de Michel Bormans de Bruxelles.
Belgium, 1 point.
Acceptant la méthode de déconstruction de nos collègues anglais, on a cru faire quelque chose en prenant cet ensemble de textes, différentes sortes de textes vulgaires, textes poétiques, textes de Shakespeare, mais on ne savait pas d'où ça venait, on avait des vagues associations. On a pris cet ensemble de sortes de textes pour en construire, c'était notre idée, une partition musicale.
Michel asked each of the schools to send a text as a possibility to use for the seminar. And I sent a text that Elliot, who's here as well, had used with the second year students at Guildhall. It contained fragments of the writers Samuel Beckett, Harold Pinter, Mark Ravenhill, Sarah Kane. So it was already a mixture of writers. And I thought that he was going to choose one of the writers, or propose that each group worked on one thing that he chose. So when I got here and discovered that the students had made a mixture, not only of the writers, but even spreading out sentences, I was a bit taken aback because I thought it was hard enough anyway to make sense of these texts. But to have created something which initially seemed to me to make very little sense, or was hard to make sense of, I thought they'd made it harder for themselves to work on the text. Actually, I think I was wrong. Because when I saw the results today of all the different performances, I realised that once you realise these bits of fragments, a new sense is made. So in fact it was very creative, and I was wrong in thinking it. I think I mentioned to you before, I was worried about it, but having seen the results, I wasn't. So I've learned something.
One thing I learned is that one thing is this unconscious and non-concrete work of the actor and theatre, and another one is the language on top of which you talk about it.
That's right.
And our work was on language, on language, 2 languages. The language in general, and also French, Spanish, English, and all the languages that came to the Italian, everything we had to communicate. But it's about finding, understanding for me, the perspective of the other, the way from where they look, and to understand from where I look, and how to, and then find a common language. I think that's the challenge.
Men for sale.
Qu'est-ce que cela peut bien vouloir dire?
Men.
Il a dit.
So, sorts, shapes, and size for sale.
Qu'est-ce que cela peut bien vouloir dire?
It's an international congress.
A-t-il dit?
Got up for the entertainment and relief of lady members of the civil service.
That's very kind of you.
L'idea di Michel di far sviluppare il materiale drammaturgico direttamente agli allievi sicuramente il primo giorno è stata letta come un po' spiazzante, però in realtà secondo me è stata un'idea vincente perché ha portato tutti quelli cosiddetti insegnanti a doversi assumere la funzione di esploratori di qualcosa che non conoscevano prima davanti agli allievi.
I think that the main point of this school was just maybe forget this part and just create directly something because the role was defined for us as students and for you as teachers. So directly maybe it's an idea, just forget the pedagogical thing and just directly mix with what you can bring to us and what us we can bring to you.
With this, every time you do that, you use a text and a context, and then you do a performance. So we cannot talk about the text only. We have to talk about the context. Huh?
I think every rehearsal room always struggles with hierarchy because it is an artistic dilemma to create leadership, but also to create freedom. And we always have this exciting but challenging problem to negotiate. So yes, perhaps it's exaggerated for us, but it's not a new challenge.
C'est-à-dire que là, ce que j'ai vu, ce sur quoi j'ai essayé d'intervenir, en fait, c'est sur un travail complètement en cours, à un endroit, effectivement, où d'habitude, les scénographes n'interviennent pas encore. Alors, c'est une chose absolument passionnante. De dire aussi que j'ai trouvé par moments très très effrayante.
Don't misunderstand me. The 2 last days I learned more than, I don't know, very long time. It's been very helpful.
About what? Teaching about yourselves,
About all this. And mainly, I think about what is theatre and what is acting. What is theatre and what is acting. And what is it being present, what is it being listening. And this has also been the topic of each shows. And I want to say, it's the danger of this kind of events, I think, is that we are coming here and trying to find an agreement about what is theatre and what is acting right away, and we try to find a way to work together as fast as possible, and boom, then we are producing something. I think that's extremely dangerous.
Now I have to sense deeply you two, and also people from the school. They went from months to let that kind of things happen. It was very short, but it was my commitment from École Des Écoles. It was difficult to take teachers out of cursus and to send it in another place to do something that clearly nobody happened. Nobody are clearly, in fact, to understand what's happened at this meeting. So you make from this meeting something, and it's love. That's it.